All right, ladies and gents, we are now, Lady Neo says hi, YouTube. We are now actually shooting a quick review video for the new planet on Spacepunks called Spor. Some of you may have caught my stream where I spent the vast majority of the stream hanging out with my crazy ass buddies and also enjoying Spor. Spor comes with 2 new challenge missions and 2 new get a job missions, all of which are fantastic. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Check them out. Now, I'm going to start off with the positives and negatives of this because you always know that I'm very honest about my feedback and what I actually have to say about this. First and foremost, what I'll say, the positive feedback is Spor is an amazingly beautiful planet. The design and everything is fantabulous. If you missed checking it out on stream or if you haven't checked it out for yourself, head on there. I'm not going to show you any of that because there is no point in showing you that. You need to actually see that, all right? So when you go there, you will see it for yourself. It reminds me a lot of Vex type installations in Destiny 2, so I really like that. And that to me is a fantastic addition. However, that's a positive. The other thing that I want to say that's very positive is that the game seems to be graphically more it seems to be graphically enhanced from what it was before. Things seem smoother. Everything seems more optimized. However, in saying that, on Spor specifically, and on several of the other planets, but mostly on Spor, I've been experiencing frame rate drops regardless of the level of graphs, regardless of the graphics level that I've been setting. So I actually did it at I actually tested it on all the different graphical settings during the early part of my stream. Again, you can check that out if you want to see me and my reactions live. And I've set the frame rate limit to 60 FPS, but we still, even at medium, witnessed several drops. And those drops were unfortunate because it really took away from the experience and beauty of Spor itself. So in terms of positives, the new missions are super fun. Spor is an amazing planet. I really like it. But the negative is that the FPS drop, and that's a major negative because if that is not fixed quickly, players can get frustrated playing it. And I know that, of course, people who love the game will not, leave just because of minor hiccups. I mean, hell, I played this game back when it was nearly unplayable due to the packet loss issues. But there is a certain standard that must be met when it comes to gaming, and that standard means nearly 0 FPS drops. You cannot have FPS drops, and 60 FPS smooth is the minimum. So if I cannot get a smooth consistent 60 FPS, even like on an amazing rig like mine, if I'm running it at medium, there should be 0 frame drops at all. If I'm running it on extreme, there should be like at most 1 or 2 frame drops. And Lady Neo says, bring Spacepunks to console. Definitely should. So these are things that really need to be considered because the FPS drop, I think, is a major issue. Finn's dash doesn't seem to stick as much as before, so of course, him being my main, one of the reasons I stopped playing so much was that it was very frustrating to have my dash break all the time. But today, unfortunately, the dash broke on the Nomos mission in Stoppen. So I don't know if it's just that mission. I played the crack, it didn't break. I played a lot of Spor, it didn't break, but on the Stoppen mission on Occupational Hazard, it did break. So that's something to take note about. The other downside is that in terms of the content that they've actually released, Spor is an amazing planet with a new resource, but instead of releasing a new weapon, they've actually made some of the other weapons in the crafting area correspond to Spor's resource. The Invader is one of them. Now you'll be using the, the spoil in order to upgrade this. That has both positives and negatives because, honest to God, one of the big downsides to doing that is that you haven't actually added any content to the game. And I just want to highlight some experience with another game that I've played, Dauntless. They often release updates whereby, like, okay, they've released a new monster, but there's no new weapons to go with it. So people experience the monster or the content, and then they feel like they're done within the day because is there any real reason to progress it any further? You see? And for those people that have already upgraded certain weapons beforehand, they may not need to gather as much spoil. So that can be a problem. So I would say that if you could release at least 1 melee and 1 range weapon, that would be fantastic. Again, I don't know how big the development team is, but that would be something that I would say needs to be looked at and is one of the key methods of succeeding in the gaming industry. Because if you want to keep people hooked on your game, you have to consistently make sure that there's content for veteran players. And whenever you drop something new, it has to be the whole package. It can't just be like one thing or the other. So kudos to the Spor drop. It is fantastic. Many of the issues are fixed, but the FPS drop is major and needs to be addressed ASAP. Again, you can check out my stream if you want to see what happened. It wasn't that much of a bother. Like, we still played through the game, and like, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal, but if you play for long periods of time and if you play consistently, I'm sure it will get frustrating. And I've known many people to leave games after dealing with that kind of frustration over and over again. So that is something to consider and think about. Other than that, a lot of the other updates are pretty freaking cool. And one major thing which I have to highlight to everybody in update 6 is that talent items can no longer have 2 of the same talent items. So although I've got multiple versions of, like, say this talent item, I can only place 1 of its kind in. You see, in another slot, I cannot add in another of the same kind. So no more stacking excessive Acme Fortunators. Like, so meh, I'm so sad. All these excessive extra Acme Fortunators, no more for me. You know, that is super sad. But in a way, I guess it also makes it so that you can't just throw in everything that you want. So that is something else that I would say please be aware about. That is basically all I have to say about this update. It's a fantastic update. Spor is a beautiful planet. They've done a fantastic job on it. Like I said, the lighting, the way it looks, go experience it for yourself. You don't want to experience it for yourself, you can check out my stream. We basically spent the first hour just exploring Spor and all the new missions and stuff like that. No new weapons or armor additions, unfortunately, but that is not to say that they can't bring something out in future, so I would hope that they do so. It would give us more of a reason to farm, upgrade, things like that. And the FPS drop, that's the only major downside in this whole experience. So once that's resolved, I think things will be awesome. Also, one more thing, almost forgot. Sorry guys, if you're just coming back to the game, please note that you have to reset your configurations. Okay, it was back to default when I first came in, so I had to reset my heavy attack to my thumb button 1. All right, so just be aware of that and enjoy the game, guys. If you got any Spacepunks questions, or if you've got content that you want to see on Spacepunks, hit me up. Just message me on stream, on my YouTube channel, and I'll happily make any kind of video that you guys want. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support my channel, drop a tip via the link in the description of the video. Send super thanks on YouTube. You can join as a channel member, gaining access to various perks. You can drop by the streams and send super chats. I'm currently playing a lot of Diablo Immortal, so you may not see me on Spacepunks very often, but you know, this release is a step in the right direction. And as many of my fans in the chat are already saying, bring out the console release. We are waiting. All right. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, y'all have fun now.